apparently have had an issue with one of your legs. Could you tell us everything that happened with that?
Well, after the drug problem initially from wrestling, I moved up to Tennessee and went to rehab for the first time in 2003, got clean, and went about 7 years. Went back to college, became a school teacher and a coach and all these things, and I still had a lot of old wrestling injuries. What happened in about 2009, I started working out again, and I pushed it too hard, and I had a foot injury. I had twisted my ankle a bunch of times wrestling in the WWF against Triple H. I twisted it because I used to wear these high-tech magnums. Anyway, I had this foot injury, and during 2009 when I started working out again, I was trying to squat all this crazy weight and do all these stupid things, plyometric jump training and all that shit. And the foot collapsed. The bone structure just disintegrated and the foot collapsed, and I just ignored it and I started taking painkillers again. That's when I relapsed, and I was more worried about getting pills than going to get my foot fixed. Okay, and then what happened is I went and had surgery, and they tried to fix it the first time, and I didn't follow doctor's orders. I was up walking on it the very next day, and I mean, it was full of metal and, screws and everything to hold it together, and I just jumped up and started running around on it because I was running around finding more drugs because I was fully back into it, taking the pills, and it fell apart. And I think I kind of hobbled around. I remember seeing Marty Jannetty's foot in an interview where it was turned to the side. That's how my foot, it was turned to the side like that for like almost 2 more years after that. And I went and tried to get it fixed again by another doctor, and I was following directions this time much better. But what ended up happening is deep inside of it I got a staph infection, and it kind of ate up all the rest of the bone and stuff in the foot. By the time I realized it, it felt like my foot was kind of falling off from the inside. So I had to rush back to the hospital. They pumped me full of antibiotics for about 2 weeks straight. And the options were, he would try to clean it up and fuse it all up, but there was no guarantee. And remember, I'm on a bunch of drugs here. And he said to me, if you want to be out of pain, the quickest way, if we took the foot and got you a good prosthetic, you would be out of pain sooner. Now, that sounded appealing to me because I had been in so much pain for the 2 years prior to that. Walking around on a foot full of metal and shards of metal and bone and turned to the side. And I decided to have them amputate my foot. It wasn't as easy as they made it sound with the prosthetic. But it's going well now. But yeah, it was just crazy. I was more concerned with getting messed up than taking care of my foot. So I ended up losing it.
And you were telling me after that you ended up ballooning up to 400 pounds.
Yeah, because at that same time, after the foot was amputated, during that time, as I said, I was running around finding drugs a lot. And part of that, you become part of this subculture in the street where you're buying and selling pills to get what you want. And I was getting certain pills from the doctor that weren't strong enough for me. So I would sell them to the people I knew. I had drug dealers and people, and I sold some pills to get money to get the pills that I wanted, because at that point I had graduated to shooting morphine. I was an IV drug user. So I ended up in one of those situations where a guy that formerly had been a dealer for me ended up setting me up. And set me up on 2 occasions for selling like 4 or 5 pills each time. It ended up being 2 counts of delivery of Schedule 2, which was Oxycontin, and 1 count of delivery of Schedule 3, which was Suboxone. And they held on to the indictment because during that time was when I had the foot amputated. And after the foot was taken, about a month after that is when they came and arrested me. So the teaching job was gone, the coaching jobs were gone, all that stuff. I had lost everything. Anyway, part of my plea deal in that whole thing, I entered the drug court program and did 1.5 years in drug court. During the drug court time, yes, I blew up huge, almost.
What is drug court?
Well, drug court is a program where you take people with drug-related charges. You know, it could be drug charges, it could be theft charges where they were stealing to get money for drugs. People with drug addictions or substance abuse problems. And you bring them out of jail. Instead of serving jail or prison time, we bring them out and we have this super strict probation supervision and treatment at the same time. So we like put GPS on them, we watch every move they make for a while, and that was the program I was part of after I got busted. And I went through and I successfully completed it. It was a 1.5 year program, and yes, I blew up to 400 pounds. Instead of doing drugs, I was just eating a lot of food. And I was huge, I was morbidly obese, smoking cigarettes, all these terrible habits. And towards the end of the time I was in drug court, I made a decision to change everything and get in shape, quit eating eating all the junk, quit smoking, get healthy, and I did. And then after I graduated, they hired me to work for the drug court, which is where I work now.